The Marvel Cinematic Universe is filled with heroes and villains who are scientists and engineers. This is the first video in a series of videos about some of those characters, and first up, it's Janet Van Dyne. Although we've only seen Janet Van Dyne in 2 MCU films and the animated What If series, Van Dyne has made a significant quantum contribution to the MCU. Without this quantum contribution, the Avengers would never have been able to reverse the Thanos snap from Avengers Infinity War. Janet's main appearance in the MCU is in Ant-Man and the Wasp, where her husband and daughter, Hank Pym and Hope Van Dyne, build the quantum tunnel in order to rescue her from the quantum realm. Janet, like her husband Hank Pym, also worked on shrinking technologies. Of course, she was originally the Wasp, but unlike Hank Pym, she spent more than 30 years in the quantum realm. This really makes her the expert on all things quantum, given that she has lived for so long in the quantum world. And to understand what it's like to be in the quantum world or the quantum realm, you need to know about quantum physics. Quantum physics is all about studying and understanding the very small. Well, trying to understand the very small. Quantum physics is a complicated subject that looks at the physics of atoms and even particles or subatomic particles that are smaller than atoms. And some of these particles, like protons and neutrons, they're actually made of quarks. And the other subatomic particles include things like muons, neutrinos, and the Higgs boson, the particle that gives mass its mass. In the MCU, when Janet becomes trapped in the quantum realm, in the quantum void, wherever that happens to be, she finds herself stuck in an area that is much smaller than the size of an atom. How small then? Well, Janet Van Dyne, you, and I, we're all roughly around 1 to 2 meters in height. If you were able to shrink so that you were 1,000,000 times smaller, you'd be roughly around the same size as a blood cell. But you'd have to shrink to 1/10,000,000,000th of a meter to just be the same size as a hydrogen atom. But Janet shrunk to a size that's much smaller than a hydrogen atom. In all likelihood, she shrunk to a size that's smaller than protons or neutrons. To put that size in perspective, a proton has a size of roughly 1 femtometer, which is the same as a quadrillionth of a meter, which is also the same as 1,000,000th of a billionth of a meter. Now things are getting really small. Quite clearly, Janet Van Dyne then spent quite a long time, for us anyway, in a very small space, because protons, well, they're tiny in comparison to you and I. Of course, in the quantum world, Janet Van Dyne learned quite a lot about quantum physics and quantum particles, well, given that she was down there for so long. Once she's rescued by Hope Van Dyne and Hank Pym, her quantum knowledge is put to excellent use in the construction of the quantum tunnel, the small one that is, that we see in the back of Scott Lang's van. And that's the same tiny quantum tunnel that helped to inspire Tony Stark, Bruce Banner, Rocket Raccoon, and the rest of the Avengers to build their bigger quantum tunnel that allowed them to do all of the time travel stuff in Avengers Endgame. See the link between Janet Van Dyne now, the quantum world, and Avengers Endgame? So you see, without Janet Van Dyne and her knowledge about the quantum world, there would have been no quantum tunnel in Avengers Endgame, and there would have been no reversal of Thanos' snap from Avengers Infinity War. But what did Janet Van Dyne eat and drink when she was trapped down in the quantum realm? Quantum burgers? Quantum milkshakes? Or did she even need to eat at all? And of course, could she have actually picked up a quantum virus, as was shown in an episode of the What If series? That's a quantum question for the quantum future. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned for more videos about scientists and engineers from superhero films. I've been Dr. Barry Fitzgerald, the superhero scientist, and until I see you next time, always think super.